Today I want to talk about something that we've all seen before. Maybe an Instagram post, maybe a celebrity transformation, and what does that do to us? What do those things really look like? What are the true changes that take place in these quote-unquote celebrity fitness changes? And are they an accurate representation of what can happen in our own lives? I'm diving into all that today, so strap in and get ready for episode 245. Let's go.
The future of fitness.
How do you gain muscle mass?
Fitness is not complicated. It's simple when you break it down.
There's so much information out there.
No fads, no diets, just plain simple habits.
You're listening to the Bones to Bulk podcast.
Hey, welcome to today's episode. My name is Brian Parody. I will be your host today, and if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. I am so glad to have you here. For my return listeners, thank you for coming back. It means the world to me. Real quick, if you have not followed us on any social media platform, please do so. Whatever you're on, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's TikTok, whether it's just you want to follow me on YouTube, please go subscribe to one of my channels. I am at Bones to Bulk everywhere, and I would greatly appreciate that. The bigger the audience gets, the more I'm able to help spread this message and just build this community. So I would be so appreciative of you if you went and did that for me. All right, let's dive in. So I'm a huge Dwayne Johnson fan. If you're not aware of that yet, this is your first time listening, kind of have a man crush on The Rock, okay? The dude is awesome. And the other day, I came across one of his posts because I follow him on pretty much every social media platform. Like I said, I'm kind of like a stalker for him. Not really. But he's going through a really big transformation process because he's filming a new movie. It's called Black Adam. It's a superhero movie, and he's getting even more ripped than he already is. But over the last 6 months, he's been in intense training. He's going through new training regimens. He's been working with a nutritionist. Like, every macro is dialed in. Everything is leading up to this scene he's doing where he's shirtless in this scene, and there's 6 months of prep for this one scene. And so I want to kind of address that. We think that we see these celebrities, these Instagram models, whoever, and we see these pictures, we see them all jacked, and a lot of things are at play here. Number one, these things take so much time, and we don't see the work that is put in. We don't see the length of time. We don't know that, hey, The Rock's already, you're taking someone who, he's already in really good shape, right? Like, he's already ripped, he's already jacked, and it took him 6 months to get to where he needed for this shot. That shows you the unrealistic expectations that are placed on us when we see this stuff, because we think, man, what am I doing wrong that I don't look like that? I just must be missing it, or I'm just destined to be big boned, or whatever the excuse, the thing is that you tell yourself. And that's not the case at all. It's just the case that this stuff takes so long. And here's another thing. When we go from, let's say you're starting off from point zero, like you've never worked out, you've never eaten healthy, and let's say you turn all that around, you start working out, you start eating right, and you make quite a bit of progress, let's say in the first year. Like, you hit your goal in a year, you're where you want to be as far as, your weight. But then let's say from there, you're like, okay, I want to be just ripped. I've lost the weight, I've got a little bit of muscle now, but I want to be ripped. That next stage in the process is so much harder. And I'm not saying the original part's not hard, because it is, but then when you start making those micro changes, it requires you to really dig into the weeds in your day-to-day life. Really, really get gung-ho about your calories and what types of exercise you are and the muscle fibers being recruited and all that stuff. And it really, really takes a lot more digging. So we can't expect to know everything from day one. I'll be the first to admit, I don't know everything. There is so much I don't know. There are trainers out there who are way better than me in different areas, and that's okay. Like, I'm not the best in every area. There's certain things that I really know that I'm really good at, and there's certain areas where I'm like, you know what? That person over there, they probably will be better suited for you, because I have a very specific, set of knowledge. And while, yes, when it comes to fitness, there are some broad things that kind of apply to everybody, it's still a different journey. My journey was, I was super skinny, I was super underweight, and I couldn't gain anything. I couldn't put on weight. I would eat and I would eat and I would eat. I couldn't gain muscle. I couldn't and so that's my personal story. That's what I can connect with. That's what was difficult for me and challenging and what I was able to overcome. So obviously, yeah, that's that's my hot spot. That's what I thrive in. That being said, most of the clients I work with are wanting to both lose weight, body fat, and gain muscle at the same time. So I work a lot with that. But there's a lot of other things out there that I'm not skilled at. So, we got to get out of this mindset that first off, we can look like just that guy in the movie in 6 months or 3 months or whatever. Like those people that are on the IG feeds that have the lighting and the makeup and everything like planned months and months in advance of these shoots, it's not realistic for us to expect to be there, especially not in a short amount of time. And that's the problem, is what we get with a lot of these fad diet programs, these fad workout programs, is we see these just shredded people and they're telling us like, you can get the body you wanted, just, get on the Nutrisystem or get on keto or get on paleo, like whatever it is. I'm not saying that any of those things are necessarily absolutely bad in of themselves. Well, I do think keto's bad, but that's another podcast altogether. But what I am saying is it's just unrealistic for these individuals to be touting this thing, saying like, oh, you're going to get shredded just from this program. No, probably not. My favorite is the equipment ones. It's like some ab roller or some elliptical machine, and they're like, I look like this because of this machine. And it's some dude or woman who's like got muscles on top of muscles. I'm like, no, you didn't get that way just from that machine. You've been working out and eating right for years, and you probably maybe use that machine a few minutes a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we got to be careful about the things we see, the things we just take at face value, because there's always more to what's going on. There's more to the story. There's more than meets the eye. So we have to be careful and really evaluate when we see this stuff. Another thing to take into consideration when we see these, fitness models or movie stars, this is their job. Like, you get up and you go to work 8 hours a day or however many hours, and you put in the work every day, right? And you collect a paycheck. Well, these people, they collect their paychecks by pretty much living in the gym, like getting their body to a level where they can make money off their body. That sounds bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're paid for their aesthetics. The Rock's his muscles and his size, that's part of how he makes his money. You know what I'm saying? And so they're treating that like their job. They have the ability to go in and put in hours and hours a day into their nutrition and their diet, and they hire specialists who know this stuff to help them along the journey. And we often don't have that luxury. Most of us, we go, we do our regular day job. Like me, I go and I do my day job, and I have a wife and 2 children, and my life is busy, and then I do this on the side. And so it's a lot. It's a lot to juggle. And so when you add in your own personal fitness and health, then it can get overwhelming. But we've got to remember that this is baby steps, right? Take this in little chunks, in little bite-sized pieces that, hey, you know what? It's going to take me a while to get from point A to point B. That's okay. You're going to get a year older in the next year. The year is going to pass whether you like it or not. So what is the difference if a year from now you're still not at your goal, but you're halfway there? Well, guess what? That's a lot further than you were a year ago, right? And it may seem overwhelming in your mind, like, oh my gosh, it's going to take me a whole year. Well, okay, so what? Like, you're getting older anyway. What's the difference? You know what I'm saying? And I think we just have to get away from that mentality that everything is quick, everything is easy. It's just, there's no hacks, okay? There's no hacks to getting in shape. And I'm tired of hearing about shit hacks that don't work. Take apple cider vinegar and lose the belly. Get on this pill and it's going to just melt away. No, it won't. You really think if that stuff really did what all the things it promised, why wouldn't we all be just popping pills and looking like Hugh Jackman in The Rock? Because it takes, I'm just using them as an example because anyway, like that's what I'm saying. Like, don't fall for these unrealistic expectations. Know what you can do. Do what you can do each and every day and stay the course, build the habit, stay consistent. That is the key to everything. If you found this helpful, I have a request for you. Share this with somebody you know would benefit from it. Just hit that little share button, whether you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, if you're listening on your computer, just copy the link and send it to someone and be like, hey, I just listened to this. It was really good. And you might get something out of it too. I would so appreciate that. That would mean the world to me. With that being said, remember, no matter what you're facing, what things you're coming up against, you can accomplish any goal that you set your mind to. You've got this.